my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So I'm doing a little bit of a different reading today. This isn't technically a love reading. This is going to be a reading about you and your divine feminine and divine masculine energies. We all have divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us. And, you know, I'm setting the intention that this reading is going out to those of you on the twin flame journey wanting to work on your divine feminine and divine masculine energies. Someone bought me this divine masculine deck, and when I was looking at when I was reading it, it said there was a divine feminine deck that you can use with it. So I went ahead and got that deck, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So the spread that we're doing is, where is it? It's called the Masculine and Feminine Integration. And it's about integrating feminine and masculine energies that begins within. This spread gives insight to the energy your feminine and masculine are currently in and what to focus on to strive towards better balance and healing. So like I said, this isn't specifically a love reading, but I'm setting the intention that by integrating these energies within you, it will help you with your current love situation. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to put this deck over here for now, and we're going to start with the feminine deck. So the first card we're going to look at is a card to represent your current inner feminine energy. So we're going to check out your current feminine energy. And even if it doesn't resonate, you might learn something about your feminine and masculine energy. I was using this deck for myself yesterday, and I found it highly accurate. So I'm excited to use it for you. And we will be reading from the book, even if I mispronounce words. So, like I said, the first card we are getting is a card to represent your current inner feminine energy. So let's have a look. Spirit, let's get one card to represent the viewer's current inner feminine energy. Current inner feminine energy. We have Bridget. And we're only going to get 4 cards today, so this won't be a super long reading. But a card to represent your current inner feminine energy, Bridget. You could have red hair, or you could be focusing on, this is really giving me Queen of Wands energy, so you could be focusing on your inner fire right now, or your passion, creativity. So let's have a look. Bridget. Cultivate your abilities to hone in on intuitive messages and inspirations that come through as seeds of ideas. It very much is Queen of Wands energy. Tapping into your intuition, your connection with spirit, your creativity. Bridget, also referred to as the Exalted One, is a Celtic goddess associated with fire, spring, inspiration, divination, fertility, and smithcraft. A patron of healing and the arts, Bridget is a guiding goddess for those who conduct poetry, prophecy, and other forms of healing wisdom. She is the personification of the fires of inspiration. Bridget is one of the principal deities of pre-Christian Gaelic Ireland, otherwise known as the Tuatha De Danann. Married to Bray, like I said, I could be mispronouncing a lot of this. Married to Bray, the ruler of the Tuatha De Danann, Bridget was a patron of warfare with a band of soldiers under her called brigands. According to another version of her mythology, Bridget is believed to be Saint Bridget of Kildare, born in Ireland in the 1300s. You could have a connection with Ireland. So Bridget's message: learn to harness the sparks of intuition that ask you to be heard, turning them into flames of inspiration and creativity. The more you understand how you receive guidance, the more you can actively use your intuition rather than it happening passively without you noticing. Your intuition whispers, whereas the mind speaks louder. And that's what we always say. Your intuition whispers, your anxiety screams. Becoming aware of these messages takes practice. When you become attuned to these whispers, you can grab hold of the ideas being brought to you. Building your understanding of psychic abilities can help create your reference points. Think of these messages as guidance that emerges via your psychic abilities. Some will see, others will hear, feel, or know. Once you recognize the inspiration, it is time to use it. It can be difficult to take the seed of inspiration, step into spiritual action, and turn it into something tangible. I just heard, what are you being called to create? You will be given a little nugget of inspiration, and it may be challenging to get motivated to take that nugget and bring it into form. The secret is to start the action for the motivation to come. When you have a nugget of an idea, you have all you need to start, so take the first step. The flow from the first step of putting that idea into motion creates incentive. There's a crow joining us. The things that are unhealthiest for you feel good before you do them. And the things that are the things that feel unhealthiest for you feel good before you do them. And the things that are healthy for you feel good after. For example, binge eating and watching television gives you dopamine before, while going for a workout provides you dopamine after the activity. Rather than waiting for motivation, take that first step and let it kick in afterwards. Listen to your intuitive messages to inspire you to put them into action and to motivate you to follow the lead and be inspired to take more intuitive guidance. So that's your current inner feminine energy right now. So now we're going to look at your current inner masculine energy. So what do we need to hear for this one, Spirit? The viewer's current inner masculine energy. Hang on, cards are falling out. Current inner masculine energy. So the viewer's current inner masculine energy. That one came up quickly. All right, let's have a look at what we have. We have Ra. Kind of reminds me of the Judgment card. The initials RA could be symbolic. Ra. If I could find it. There we go. Hang on. All right. Enhance your joy, abundance, and play by emulating the energy of the sun. Radiance, warmth, and life force will bring you sustenance after a period of heaviness and release. Ra is worshipped as one of the oldest and most important gods in ancient Egyptian mythology. A creator god and god of the sun, Ra has no parents. Instead, he was born fully developed, rising out of a lotus flower. Another version of this myth states that he rose from the Ben stone, the capstone of a pyramid. The origin of life, Ra created humans from his tears. Becoming the patriarch of ancient Egyptian deities, he is the father of Shu and Tefnut, grandfather of Nut and Geb, and the great-grandfather of Isis, Orisis, Seth, and Nephthys. Oh dear. To further Ra's importance to Egyptian culture, pharaohs were titled Son of Ra. Ra is not only a sun god, but also the embodiment of the sun itself. The setting sun is said to be Ra, traveling to the underworld to become reborn at daybreak. Ra's message. On a balmy day towards the end of summer, the sun's ray hits the earth in a display of iridescent brilliance. After a swim, a man walks out of the ocean, feeling rejuvenated and livened by the warmth as he sits by the shore basking in the light. A woman in the next neighborhood sips her coffee. She smiles as she watches her sunflowers reach towards the sun, seeking its radiance. Next door, a young family laughs and plays under a sprinkler, feeling the joy of play in the heat. Throughout history, the sun has held various cultural roles and meanings. Its energy has predominantly been associated with masculine energy, life force, abundance, and vitality. The sun's blazing rays are penetrating, fierce, and life-providing, a reflection of the attributes of the masculine. Honoring the sun and working with its energy will assist you in embodying these attributes, just like Ra. Not only did the ancient Egyptians praise the sun, but many other cultures have their own version of lore, origin stories, and deities representing solar energy. Without the sun, we would not exist. As the most important star in our solar system, the sun has been a life provider, light source, and bringer of enlightenment. Your body undergoes vitamin D production from UV exposure in a sun-safe manner. That's making me laugh. And the release of serotonin, a mood-boosting hormone. The sun penetrates, replenishes, and warms your soul after periods of dense emotional work and release. For plants, it provides sustenance through the process of photosynthesis, converting solar energy to carbon dioxide and soil nutrients into food. Humans have always connected deeply with the sun, and it is time for you to harness your relationship with it now. Make it a habit to work with its daily cycle, and you will learn to honor your sleep, serotonin levels, energy, and vitality. Working with the sun will benefit your mind, body, and spirit, reminding you of your connection to life force energy. So you could be spending time working with the sun right now, or spending more time, sitting in the sun. I always mention about how if you need to work on your divine feminine energy, spend time under the moon if you need connecting with the moon. And if you need to work on your masculine energy, you may feel called to spend more time in the sun. And I always say, when you sit in the sun, use protection, wear sunscreen, because you need to take care of yourself. And this made me laugh because yesterday I did not, and I ended up burning myself I thought I'm going to go work on my masculine energy and take in some sunshine. And I did not use sunscreen. I was not intending to be out in the sun that long. And I kind of look like a lobster right now, which is why I'm not on camera today. So next we're going to look at, let me go back to the spread. So now we're going to get a Divine Feminine card to see what you need to focus on to heal and balance your inner feminine. So we're kind of looking at what's out of balance within your feminine energy and what you need to focus on to help bring it more into balance. So I'm not going to shuffle again. So what do you need to focus your energy towards to balance your inner feminine? Well, we have two cards, and I feel called to take both of them. So we have White Buffalo Calf Woman. And the buffalo immediately makes me think of spiritual grounding, Hierophant energy. And then we have Babo. Maybe you need to drink some milk. So that's the wrong book. White Buffalo energy. So like I said, I wasn't planning on getting two cards, but two cards came out, so I am going to read them. You are being called to trust. That's kind of magical. This is on page 139. And I believe this card was on page 139. So that could be a synchronicity, that number. You are being called to trust, not that everything will be fine and dandy, but that you will be okay no matter what. Trust yourself and know that you will overcome whatever life brings you. Long ago, White buffalo calf woman appeared to the Lakota. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing anything. I'm autistic and I mispronounce a lot of words, probably because I haven't heard a lot of these words spoken, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone. So please understand that if I'm mispronouncing a word, I'm not trying to be offensive. So she appeared to the Lakota people of the Great Sioux Nation as a prophetess. She was sent by the Creator when the natives had forgotten how to communicate with heaven. Discovered by two young hunters, one recognized her sacred energy while the other approached her with ill intent. On approach, White Buffalo Calf Woman covered him with dust, causing him to turn into a pile of bones. The remaining hunter returned to his people, alerting them to her imminent arrival. Appearing from the horizon, she presented her people with a sacred pipe to assist them in bridging the spirit and human worlds. She taught the Lakota tribe 7 ceremonies to use with the pipe to create a harmonious and peaceful future on Earth. As she retreated from the village, she turned into a white buffalo calf. So the message behind this card: it is time to walk forwards on your path, holding yourself in strength, relinquishing your concerns for a future that has not yet arrived. The notion of trust is difficult to grasp when in the past you have experienced disappointment and hardship. And for some reason, I'm having straight up chills as I'm connecting with this card. How can you be expected to have faith when you still feel past bruises? You are not being asked to have blind trust that everything will be okay. You are being asked to have faith in the process, not that you can guess the outcome or that the result will be pleasant. Ultimately, you are being asked to have faith in yourself, that you will have your own back no matter what life throws your way. Even if you get knocked down, you will be okay. You will pause, taking the time to gather yourself before standing up again, and only when you are ready. Allow your mistrust to show you the wounds inside, asking for attention and healing. There is no need to force yourself to trust when you are not ready. Listen to what the sacred parts of you have to say. It is human nature to worry. Understandably, you have difficulty trusting when your prior experiences have not always delivered positive outcomes. When you are asked to hand over your concerns, this is not in any way to indicate that you must tirelessly believe everything will be perfect. Instead, it's to know that specific experiences are being brought into your path for a reason. Everything you experience is ideal because each moment holds wisdom when you are ready to see it. Trust cannot be forced. It comes naturally as you build confidence in your ability to navigate unknown terrain. And then we have Babo. I just heard that some of you may have a grandmother. I just heard that some of you may have a grandmother spirit guide. I don't know if that's resonating with anyone. Find levity in the madness of earth and view human nature through the eyes of humor. Laughter can bring joy to the darkest moments, and laughter can raise your vibration. Babo is an ancient Greek goddess mainly spoken of in myths from the early Orphic religion. As the goddess of mirth, she is celebrated for her liberated nature. A fun-loving older woman, Babo exhibits her wisdom through laughter and jesting. Humorously dealing with sexuality, Babo is the epitome of the untamed woman. She is the central figure in the story of Demeter, and her daughter Persephone. Oh my gosh, I'm really struggling. After Hades, the god of the underworld, abducted. If any of you also want to correct the way I'm saying this and spell it out for me how to say it, I would greatly appreciate it. After Hades, the god of the underworld, abducted Persephone, Baba was the first to make Demeter laugh through her grief. Offering her a drink, Demeter refused, so Babo lifted her dress to show her private parts, ultimately making Demeter laugh. That's funny. The message behind this card: when life throws you curveballs, finding moments of joy in the chaos can be challenging. Seeking pleasure is essential because you are only on this beautiful planet temporarily. Think about the things an angel would want to experience as a human. Delicious food, dancing to music, beautiful beaches, physical intimacy, and deep belly laughs. Intentionally create opportunities for joy, laughter, and the lighter side of life. Human existence can feel incredibly dense for highly sensitive people. Yeah, I just mentioned I was autistic. Highly sensitive people. It can feel like dredging through a pool of mud. But that's not all you were intended to experience. You are here for both sides of the equation. You are here for duality, the contrast found at either end of the spectrum. You need joy to complement the hard work of mortal existence. The balancing of these polarities applies to spiritual work as well. Cleansing old energetic debris through your work in the emotional realm is intended to make way for new energy to fill you back up. Releasing without refilling will leave you depleted. So ensure you replenish yourself with light after the hard work of clearing difficult emotions. There is a reason why the saying, laughter is the best medicine, is often quoted. It's because the essence of laughter can heal at a level so deep it can reach you at your core. A sense of humor is a gift of alchemy bestowed upon humanity. It is how humans can transmute in the most magnificent, joyous way. It is a way to reclaim your power from the clutches of despair. Seeing life's pitfalls through a lens of humor can be the remedy to density. Lift the burden from your shoulders and laugh. So laugh, my little butterflies. All right, so I'm probably going to get 2 masculine cards for this next one, just because 2 feminine cards came out. So Spirit, we're asking for 2 masculine cards to see what masculine energy you can focus on to help balance your inner feminine and inner masculine. So 2 masculine cards. What does the viewer need to focus on? For some reason, I'm wondering if that is the card. I don't know. I'm wondering if that's the card that fell out when I was shuffling. It isn't, but it looks very similar. We have Ares and we have Sudhada. When I think about it too much, it hurts my brain. So we'll start with Ares. Like I said, if you want to help your spiritual friend out and tell me how to pronounce some of these things, I don't take offense. I welcome that. So this is what you need to work on or focus on. A hardened heart has served a purpose in protecting you. It's time to relinquish the hold of darkness and step back into the flow. One of the 12 Olympians, the major ancient Hellenic gods, Ares is the god of war, also known as the spirit of battle. Although his parents, Zeus and Hera, were 2 of the most renowned Olympians, Ares was not considered as well loved or respected. I'm really struggling here. I'm also dyslexic, so please be patient with me. I'm just going to spell the word. Connotations. Canossians. With brutality, lack of morality, and the trauma of war affected his reputation. He would arrive to battle in a chariot drawn by 4 immortal horses, accompanied by vultures and his favorite pet hunting hounds. Where Ares' sister, Athena, was associated with the wisdom and mental strategy of battle, He represented the aspects of bloodlust and unbridled violence. Ares began a long-spanning love affair with Aphrodite while she was married to Hephaestus. Together with Aphrodite, Ares fathered 4 children. The message behind this card. Long ago, a part of the divine masculine's heart went to war and has yet to return. Traumas and behavior patterns. This is giving me 9 of Wands energy. Traumas and behavior patterns that develop collectively can claw in so severely that they become the new norm for generations to come. Our inner masculine has become exceedingly adept at hardening the heart due to the archetype of the soldier and the stigma surrounding crying and exhibiting softer emotions. This energy presents as a battle wound with a layer of calculation over the top. It is a facade, a tough exterior protecting a wounded interior. It can feel like the braver choice to be stoic, but it inevitably leads to hollowness, numbness, and pain. Being cloaked in armor feels safe and protective. However, when worn after the war has ended, the armor becomes the problem. The weight of that armor turns from the object of your protection to the very thing weighing you down. Protecting your peace is essential, yet so is living. Allowing the piercing of the shield around your heart takes immense bravery. If you are romantically interested in someone with a seemingly impenetrable ice boulder barricading their heart, it is not your job to thaw it out. If someone is not actively seeking help and working on their issues autonomously, be cautious about stepping into codependency. Ensure you do not get sucked into a dark void of taking emotional responsibility for someone else. Research the 4 attachment styles, secure, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized, to better understand yourself and others. Avoidant and anxiously attached people tend to attract each other, becoming entangled in dopamine hit-inducing, addictive to and fro situations. Working on the root causes and subsequent behavior patterns linked to your attachment style will help you develop a secure attachment and an open yet discerning heart. Sometimes the only way to survive hardship is to harden the heart for protection. Nonetheless, once the hardship is over, it no longer serves to be in protection mode. Seek assistance from mentors to help you melt the ice, keeping you from being vulnerable. You deserve to experience life from an open-hearted vantage point. So you could even, I do talk a lot about anxious attachment and anxious avoidant. So you could definitely resonate with that type of, like, you could be anxious attachment and you attract anxious avoidant people. And then we have that one. Sudhada, or however you probably, oh my gosh, I can't even say properly. All right. Show up as a source of emotional support for others. Relinquish emotional responsibility and step into holding space for the benefit of yourself and others. Sudhada, meaning he who grows pure rice, was the king of the Shakya people, an eastern sub-Himalayan ethnic group. Ruling with his wife, Maya Devi, Sudhada came to be the father of the Buddha. Maya dreamt of a son destined to be a great king or a religious leader. When his wife passed 7 days after giving birth to his son, Sudhada, overcome with grief, became overly protective. He attempted to keep Gautama from being a religious leader by keeping his son sheltered from human suffering. He ensured Gautama remained within the confines of the palace, experiencing only pleasure and happiness. By keeping Gautama away from the contrast pain offers pleasure, Sudhada pushed him towards the one thing he tried to keep him from. The message behind this card. A first-time dad watches on nervously as his baby son takes his first steps. concerned for any stumbles and falls that may occur. 30 years later, the same man watches his grandson take his first steps. Instead of hesitation, he now smiles, free of nerves. After watching his son's life journey, he understood that the stumbles and falls were needed to learn how to become competent at walking and then eventually running. When you feel overly responsible for the emotions and the journey of another, know that it is not your place to take away every possible pitfall and pain for them. You can be a support, holding space and providing insight when you can. However, part of learning is stumbling and falling. To take away all the hardship, emotional pain, and problems is to take away the growth, learning, and development of resiliency. What you think is best for someone might be the very thing that hinders their growth. Depending on a person's life path, they may need certain experiences to be a catalyst of wisdom, growth, or a certain set of circumstances to send them on a particularly winding path. Showing up to guide, counsel, and support can be beautiful, although stepping back, relinquishing control, and allowing a person to make their own choices and mistakes is essential. And this is reminding me of that surrender card. Surrender the idea that you can fix someone. It's not our job to fix others. It's our jobs to work on ourselves, is what I'm hearing. The best way to become a holder of space for another person's hard times is to face your shadow. When you become sufficient at facing your darkness and sitting in discomfort, you can comfortably do the same for another without feeling drained. Knowing that periods of darkness and difficulty serve a purpose in the bigger picture can help you not run from your own and other people's shadows. Strive towards emotional support rather than emotional responsibility, and see how you show up for yourself. And see how you show up for yourself and others transform. You will no longer feel drained or feel a desire to control. So, that's what we have for today, and I'm going to keep reading from these books, so maybe once a week, maybe more, I'll see. I'm going to do a reading like this to kind of hone in on the divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy that you're currently in, and then the divine feminine and divine masculine energy that you need to focus on to help bring you into better alignment. So my friends, thank you for joining me for this reading, and thank you for being patient with me as I tried to read through those. And as always, I am sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.